Once, it's all right even if you have to live in a tent somewhere, but they must live in nature, the children. Very, very, very important. If you want to have your children physically, mentally healthy and balanced, which is the most important thing, parents think all the things that they could not do, they must achieve through their children. So they should have bred racehorses. They are not an extension of your ambitions. They're not, and they need not be. So this is because people think they own their children. No, they're not your property. I think these days they're telling you, older generation hesitated to say this. This generation, by the time they're 10, they're telling you, you got no business to tell me what to do. So does it mean to say you don't say anything to them? No, it's your business to see, because if you don't guide them, somebody else will on the street, or somebody will do it long distance on the internet. All kinds of creatures are out there. All right. So yes, to protect them, to nourish them, to allow them to explore their possibilities, it is your business to do that as a parent. But parents' concern may be, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen? Tell me, when you go through fear, is it fantastic? Hello? It's one of the most terrible emotions you can go through. Why are we thinking that we should be fearful of our future, not only of your future, of anything that you do, and you're even God-fearing, all right? Fearful about everything. What is the point? There is no such thing. There is no such thing that this generation should be an extension of the previous generation. This generation should do something that previous generation could not imagine. That is when there is a purpose to this generation, isn't it? Otherwise, what's the point if you're going to do the same things? If you want your children to consider the suggestions that you're making, don't try to discipline them. If it works, if you try to discipline them and it works, unfortunately it means that you have dumb children. If they're smart, it just won't work. Really, isn't it so? I don't like this. If they're just dumb, helpless children, it'll work. Otherwise your damn disciplining won't work. Yes, here and there maybe you put your foot down a little bit, but that right also you get only because you built a relationship. You built a very close, friendly relationship, so somewhere you can use your privilege of being older than them and put your foot down on a few things. But you can't go about disciplining them, you must drop that idea from your mind, because it won't work. If they don't like your discipline, it's just a few months away that they don't like you. If a few years away they hate your discipline, then you must know, that much time away they'll also hate you. There's no question about it, isn't it? So don't get yourself into that situation.
The most important thing is to provide him an atmosphere which is joyful, loving and inspiring. Inspiring him to stand up and find his full potential. If this atmosphere is provided, you don't really have to worry about disciplining. Discipline will happen by itself. Discipline does not mean control. Discipline means that you're focused towards knowing.
The word discipline in English means a learning or to learn. So when you say I'm disciplined, that means you're always willing to learn. You're not stuck in some mode. So discipline is not just doing something some way, you're willing to learn which way to do everything better. So if you're constantly striving how to do everything better, you're disciplined. You're just doing something in a particular way, that's not discipline. If you bring yogic practices into a child's life, there is no way they cannot be disciplined. Discipline will happen to them. This is the mistake, or this is a fundamental flaw in the education systems of the day, that we think we need to prepare people for something. No, we need to prepare people for nothing. We just have to make people flexible and sharpen their intelligence, sharpen their perception. Whatever is needed, do that. Only thing is, you have to make human intelligence in such a way that it's flexible and it'll quickly grasp what is around. Perception is sharpened, intelligence is sharpened, but you don't become a concrete block that I am an engineer, I am a doctor, I am this, I am that. You becoming a concrete block, you can't change yourself. Does it mean to say no subject needs any training? Yes, it will need. Many subjects need expertise, which needs a certain level of application and training. I'm not questioning that. But you don't have to do it early on. Right now, from the age of 3, 4, they're telling, I'm going to become a IT engineer, I'm going to become a startup, now it's all startup. Or a doctor, engineer, everything was doctor at one time, then it became little engineer, now computer, now startup. How many startups are non-starters in the country? Too many, unfortunately. Because you don't need a startup culture, engineering culture, something like this. What you need is that you are a solution-seeking generation. Let your children do something that you did not dream of. If you have achieved a certain level of success, you have taken care of bread for your children. So let them live a life where they don't have to think about their bread. That is, they don't live for their survival, they live to create something that is wonderful for everybody, for himself and for everybody else. Just yesterday somebody was asking me in some meeting that I was in, Sadhguru, I have a 14-year-old boy. 14-year-old boy is trouble, I know. Because I was a 14-year-old boy at one time. I was. I know he's trouble. The lady was in tears. I have a 14-year-old boy. I understand, said, don't say anything more, I understand, 14-year-old boy. So the thing is, when you had a child, when it was a little infant, you loved it because you could twist it and turn it and play with it whichever way you want. Yes? Then it became 3-year-old, it was crawling all over the place. You also crawled with the baby, you played with the baby, you tried to speak like them, all that. Everything was nice. Then he stood up, now he's become a 14-year-old boy. What that means is, he's trying to be his own. He wants to be man. He's in a hurry. But you still want to do moo to him. When you crawled with him when he was 2, 3 years old, he also enjoyed it. But now he wants to swing. You should also swing with him. But you still want to crawl. You still want to do moo. Doesn't work. The best thing, if you want to be of some value to your children, whether they are your own biological children or they're studying with you, the most important thing is that when they see you, they must say, wow, I want to be like this. Yes? You must become that kind of a person, you don't have to say a thing. You become that kind of a person, everybody wants to be like you. You must learn to dance like them,